Hi, everybody out there in cyber science land. This is Mr. Davis, and today we're going to talk about how we can make our own pedigree. In order to make our own pedigree, we have to learn the basic symbols first. So we're going to go over those. First, in order to create a pedigree, we're going to need to know the symbols for a male and a female. The symbol for a male is simply a square, just like this. And if you like the peanut characters, if you think about Lucy and Charlie Brown, Lucy always referred to Charlie Brown as a blockhead, and there you have it. Charlie Brown, the boy, is a blockhead. The girls, on the other hand, are just shown in a pedigree by a circle. So boys are squares, girls are circles. Now, let's say we have a man and a woman who want to get married. We show that on a pedigree by connecting the male box and the female circle with a line, just like that. They're married. Now, if this married couple decides to have children, we need to show that on our pedigree as well. The way we show that parents have children on a pedigree is by drawing some lines from their marriage line down like this. Now, the order that these children are placed in the pedigree is important. They are from left to right, oldest child to youngest child. So this is the firstborn child here. This is the middle child, and this would be the youngest child. So the middle child's a boy, and the oldest and youngest are both girls. Let's say, however, that these parents are extremely lucky and they happen to have twins, identical twins specifically. These are twins that have exactly the same genetics. We show that on a pedigree by doing a line that's joined like this. Now, we can't have boy-girl identical twins. That would be really weird. So identical twins are either going to be both girls or they're going to be both boys. And we show this on a pedigree by connecting them with another line, a lot like the marriage line, but they don't do that because that would be weird. Again, the order from left to right is the oldest twin is shown on the far left, and the younger of the two twins is shown on the right, forever to be 3 minutes younger than the oldest. Remember, we could also have male identical twins. We'll show that the same way with boxes instead of the circles because they're boys. We're going to connect them with a similar line, and this would be the third oldest child, and this would be the youngest child. Now, if these parents are having twins that are fraternal twins, that is not genetically identical, we show that similarly like this with another triangular line like this, and we have twin girls like this, again, the oldest being on the left and the younger of the two twins on the right hand side. And remember, because they're not genetically identical, they could also have a set of twins that are boy-girl twins, such as this. Now this would be the youngest child here, again shown far on the far right. Now that's actually what I am. I'm a fraternal twin. So I have a twin sister, and she's 7 minutes older than me. So here, this is the correct order. My sister is older than me. I don't have older twin sisters though. Okay, the whole reason we're doing this and looking at a pedigree and examining the genetics of the family is to try to determine the chances of a mom and a dad having a kid with a specific trait. But in order to know that, we have to know the traits of as many people in the family as we can. And the way we show this in a pedigree, whether somebody has a trait or doesn't have a trait, we show that by shading in their symbol. So if we have a boy in the family who has a trait, we show that in the pedigree by shading in that square symbol. Remember, because it's a boy, he's shown by a square, and if that square is shaded in, that says that he has that trait. Similarly, if we have a girl who has that trait, we're going to shade in her circle completely, just like we did the boy's square, just like that. Now, if we have somebody who is a carrier for that trait, that means they don't show the trait, but they have the genetics that they could potentially pass on to their children. We'll get into that later. Then all we do is shade in only half of their symbol. So if we have a boy who's a carrier for the trait, we shade in his only half of his square, and this is the way you do it. You draw a diagonal line from the lower left to the upper right and shade in the bottom half of that. Similarly, for a girl, we do the same thing. We draw that diagonal line and shade in the lower portion of her symbol. So that indicates that this person is a female and a carrier for that trait. What happens if there's somebody in the family we don't know what their genetics is for a specific trait? Maybe they're adopted, like my mom, and when she was adopted, they didn't keep records, so we don't know what her genetics are for a specific trait. Now, because we're talking about my mom, we're going to use the circle, but it's the same thing for the boy. All we do is we put a big question mark in the symbol. So this is a female for whom we don't know what the genetics are, and for a male, we just draw a question mark, and there's a male. We don't know what the genetics are. Finally, in a pedigree, to show that somebody has passed away, we draw a diagonal line straight through their symbol. And I think that's about all the symbols that we're going to need to know to do the pedigrees that we're going to be working on. Thanks for watching. Have fun out there in cyber science land.